Good evening. The Toronto Raptors lose against the Los Angeles Lakers 120-111, stretching this thing out to a 14-game streak. A lot of people here excited for the post-game show. She's taking a picture of all of our guests here today. A lot of people buzzed about this game. You got LeBron. Most of the stadium, I think, was cheering for LeBron. The big news, I guess, is Quickley and RJ are back. They kind of looked out of place because they know what they're doing and were executing their games really effectively and efficiently, which we just haven't seen that much from any or many Raptor players this season, since the DJ Carton injury. Raptors still winless since DJ Carton went down, but this tank, as good and as effective as RJ and Quickley were, I think they combined for like 30 points at the half. We'll look at the box score later, what they finished off with, but they were really efficient. Quickley was hitting threes. Barrett was getting downhill. Haven't seen a ton of Raptors hit threes or get downhill, so it did look kind of different. It was like, whoa, you had to kind of remind yourself for a second that this is the same team that we've been watching for the last couple of weeks, because it was almost jarring of like, whoa, Quickley just like dribbled the ball up the floor and hit a pull-up three. When have we seen that in the last couple of weeks? RJ Barrett getting downhill, dunking with authority, driving with authority. When have we seen that? Grady scoring from behind the backboard, which could be a Raptor Moments episode coming up because there were some good moments in that. There was a really good shot of Pelinka. I think the shot clock was fucked up or something, and Pelinka was like, what the fuck is going on? You could read his lips, which is really funny because in the Lakers Warriors about a month ago in crypto.com arena, they had like 17 clock malfunctions. The game took 30 minutes to play the last minute of the game, so it could splice in Grady hitting the behind the backboard shot and then Rob Pelinka going, what the fuck is going on? Could like fuse the two together, So that could be something to get out of this game. But yeah, I think people were pretty excited for LeBron. The Goosebumps guy that sits next to Nav Bhatia, he even had like a LeBron shirt on. And I don't know, I'm not from Toronto, only been there once on a flight layover, but didn't this guy like kill the team that you love? Maybe just as great of a story as this was before the game, it was announced that not only is Joel Embiid returning to the Sixers, but he plans to become the face of the Skechers shoe company, formerly worn by your parents, but I guess is now becoming, I guess they make basketball shoes or something. But yeah, you got to give some credit to Joel Embiid. Kind of a lot cooler than the people think he is. Like the discourse around him is pretty negative, but like he named his son Arthur. I've never met an Arthur in real life, but there's King Arthur, there's Arthur, the television show for kids. So he named his son Arthur, so that's really cool. And now he's going to be the face of Skechers. So I think you just give him a little bit more credit. Give him a little bit more street credit, because also, as people know, I spend thousands of dollars a month to get the best streams available to me. And I got the very special stream with the Spencer Dinwiddie tribute video. Regular watchers of TSN didn't get that, but yeah, they did a Spencer Dinwiddie tribute video around the first, second quarter. It was beautiful. It was really great. I loved it. There was also a DeMarre Carroll tribute video as well that followed after that. DeMarre Carroll now on the Lakers bench along with Alex McKechnie, who was here for the championship. But one of the first plays of the game was, which at the start of the game, different crowd at the bar tonight, but younger. But anyways, younger and less interesting potentially. But you had early on in the game, Quickley hits two really quick threes, no pun intended, and then Grady shooting over LeBron James. And of course, LeBron James, JJ Redick, they started a new show or podcast or something recently called Mind the Game. It's actually disorienting how authentic LeBron is in that podcast. Like it's like, wow, I've never seen you with your hair down ever in my entire life. So go watch that just for that purpose alone. But he talked about hardest actions to guard in the NBA, and like I don't know, man. I think you got to put the Grady Dick back cut in there because he not only scoring off back cuts, but scoring from behind the backboard. And so the Raptors actually go up. They're up like 21-14 or something, and normally they start out 10-2. They go down like 10-2, 15-3 or something. But now with the Quickley and Barrett back, they go up pretty big for the Raptors. A 7-point lead for the Raptors is incredible, especially against a play-in hopeful team as the Lakers are. But that's all going to change when for the aforementioned backcourt goes to the bench, and then the Toronto Raptors, more indicative of what we've seen the last couple of weeks, without Quickley and Barrett on the floor, they score 4 points in 6 minutes. And I think both of them were Moji dunks. Shouts to him. He did fall a couple times. Maybe he needs to do more like one-legged strength stuff because he like spun nicely and then just fell down. He did get a block that the next like possession down, so that was a nice recovery. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen an offense just like fall off a cliff like that. Because then you bring in Wara, you bring in Temple, you bring in Freeman Liberty, and it's just like wow, the drop off is immense. And I mean, we knew this, but if there's one thing this game told me or like reminded me of was the gap between the Raptors starting caliber players versus what we've seen the last few weeks since the DJ Carton injury. It's really, really evident. And I don't know if there's if you ever want evidence of like how important these two guys are, just go back and watch the first quarter of this game because it really was 2 quarters. I think they subbed out at around 4 minutes or no, about halfway through, 6 minutes. So they played the first 6 minutes, subbed out halfway through, and they score like 4 points in the second half of the first quarter, and they had like 21. So then the Lakers go up like 26-35 or something, and that was basically the game. And you kind of knew that was the game once the Lakers got a 10-point lead. I didn't think, unless like Quickley or Barrett put up like a 45 burger or something, even with that, it might have been difficult. They might have put their good guys back in the Lakers because obviously they are in the play-in race. There was some blood on the basketball. 10:49 of the second quarter. Don't know what that was all about. Jack razzing the crowd a little bit and just making the comment that it was really quiet, which I don't understand how the stadium can be so quiet. You know, you've got the DJ playing that Barbra Streisand song that everybody likes to have fun to. That's really fun. And then you've got like the Logan Paul Prime sponsorship drink stuff going on. I don't know how people can't be just like losing their minds at these games. Like if I was in the stadium, you know, that Barbra Streisand thing comes on. Whew, forget about it. I'm fucking losing my mind, going batshit crazy. Just like the guys on the guitar here. The mood kind of changed when he went up there, so we'll keep an eye on that. What's going on with the music? What's going on with the music, guys? I pay these people a lot of money to act in these things. No one actually watches this post game show. These are all paid actors that I've paid to be here to make it beef up the numbers a little bit. But yeah, the Grady Dick scoring behind the backboard, 310. That could definitely be a moment. It was like you guys remember the D'Anthony Melton curveball from the Sixers? I think it was against the Celtics. It was like a huge shot. I think it was a game 6 or game 7. It was kind of from the same spot on the floor. D'Anthony Melton tried to do a curveball over the backboard. He airballed it. If you hear a dog in the room, dog is in the room again. There's a windstorm outside, which to her is like the world is ending basically. So she's traumatic right now, but she's doing okay because she's in the room here. But don't make any noise, okay? We're at the bar, remember. Behave yourself at the bar. But yeah, a lot of much better ball movement, obviously, tonight. And I think a big recipient of that ball movement was obviously Grady. Not saying it was like a great game from him, 6 for 14, but I feel like he got a little bit. I mean, he only took 5 threes. Still, like, he's still not taking as many threes as like he possibly could. He's definitely, one thing you can say about Grady, he's not a chucker. Like, he's not one of these guys who is going to prove to you he can shoot really well with like a high volume. He really only takes like good shots. He doesn't take a lot of. He doesn't really make a ton of mistakes, at least on the offensive end. He had a couple kind of weakness plays, just some, him and Moji get some single leg squats going. Bruce Brown, just, I don't know, man. 5 points, 28 minutes. I guess he liked the 6 rebounds and 1 assist. I don't know. Kelly Olynyk, only 5 assists. But so the real story of this game, other than the other stories, the real story of this is the bench. The bench was absolutely horrible. I mean, kind of talked about that earlier with the tale of the 2 quarters, with the bench coming in 4 points in 6 minutes. Jordan Wara, really rough game from him. He had a garbage time 3-pointer, so I'm not even going to count that. He had like 3 points in 22 minutes or so. Really quiet game from him. Yeah, he had a couple steals, but 4 turnovers is brutal. The only guy off the bench who really moved me was Simmons, who kind of just came on at the end, and the game was, I mean, an already meaningless game was completely meaningless. So, I mean, the 3 assists that he got in 10 minutes, I don't know, but he out assisted everybody on the bench in those few garbage time minutes. It was pretty rough from the bench, other than Garrett Temple. By the way, 0 for 5 from 3, but he dove on Austin Reeves. I don't know if do you guys remember the Jordan Poole seeing like the baddies or whatever courtside? I think that's what Austin Reeves does with the refs. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen a player, maybe Luka does it more, but I think with Austin Reeves, it's like, I've never seen a player immediately like be so drawn to the refs. Like, Luka does it in this passive aggressive or angry or taunting kind of way. Tatum as well. He gets ejected all the time for that. Draymond. But Austin Reeves kind of has a very unique relationship with the refs. It's more of like, do you still love me? Like, are you going to be there for me? Do you still accept my love? Do you still accept me as a fully fledged, fully developed human being? Because this guy needs an incredible amount of validation from the referees for him to play his game. Like, I don't even mean he's like baiting to get foul calls and try to tricking the referees. He's really doing like 4 a.m, blackout drunk on mushrooms. You go to their parents' house, they make you like fried bananas with ice cream, and you tell them like you really love them, and they don't reciprocate it back to you, and then you feel really awkward, and they let you sleep on the couch in the living room, and then you leave at like 7 a.m. the next morning and then go sleep for like 12 hours. That's what he does on every fucking drive. It is nauseating to watch. It's like a dog looking for just any kind of love from anybody, right? Austin Reeves. Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's ugh. But he's really popular in China, I think. I remember reading that somewhere. It's a big deal in China. I don't know if there's like I don't know what the backstories are to any of these. Like, I remember Andrew Wiggins was like really big with the K-pop crowd. I don't know how this stuff happens, but yeah, I think Austin Reeves is like popular in China. I think because Austin Reeves actually looks like what most people like. Austin Reeves actually looks like an American, whereas when you go to like a lot of other countries, Cuba is really bad for this, but I think they're kind of catering more towards the tourists. So I'll give them a benefit of the doubt, but it's like America is not James Dean and like Elvis and all these like famous people and stuff. Like, it's Austin Reeves. Like, that is America. That is the essence of America. So maybe that's why he's popped off. It's like an authentic take on the actual American soul. It's Austin Reeves. Sean J, what is that supposed to mean? You think the refs are doing him favors? I don't know what the refs are doing. I don't keep track of what the refs, how many fouls he gets or what the refs do. I just notice it's like a relationship. It's really weird. I've never seen a player do that before. Like I've seen players try to bait for calls, but I've never seen a player like go up to the refs and be like, "Don't you love me? What do I have to do for you to love me?" Somebody, Mitch Fearing, can someone explain what's happening in the background? Buddy, this is the post-game show. We got a guy on guitar here. There's people smoking out in the back somewhere. And got the washrooms. The washrooms are back here. But it'll pick up. It'll pick up a little bit. What day of the week is it today? You know, it was a pretty crazy weekend. It's a Tuesday. I thought it was Thursday, but it's a Tuesday. Matt says Reeves had some beef today, some spicy moments with IQ. I didn't notice that, but I will go back and look. Really got to Nameless always comes with the worst takes in the chat. That's why I think his name is Nameless. He says, I wish LeBron would retire. He cheapens the game. What do you do to the game? You said there's 5,000 people for Vancouver Grizzly games. Nameless, you might be the next DoorDash guy, Rorschach. But yeah, most people I think in the stadium were there to see King James, LeBron James. Go check out his podcast with JJ Redick. There's a few scenes where he says like motherfucker and like laughs, and I was just blown away. I was like, I could not believe that LeBron was an actual real human being. I just all these years I've just thought it was some kind of simulation or like computer software program that just kind of, it's like if like someone who was like 33 was really into Morning Joe. Like it doesn't feel real to me. But this was the first time it was like, oh, he has like synapses and DNA and blood and sweat. You know, this is incredible. It's a great show. Like this guy's outfit. Wow, he's really going for it. That could be a main character later on tonight. Okay, so there was a great moment where Jack's like, quiet crowd, you know, trying to shitting on the crowd a little bit. The Barbra Streisand song wasn't really hitting. And Matt Devlin's just like, it's early. But it's like, is it really? I guess it kind of is. But then third quarter, Emmanuel Quickley got our starters back in the game, along with Bruce Brown, who I guess is a starter in this game, but not really like objectively an NBA level starter. But hey, it's the Toronto Raptors 2024. So Emmanuel Quickley, he's got the ball. He passes it to Bruce Brown for an obvious like give and go, pretty standard. You see it in soccer, you see it in hockey, basketball. You give, you go. Actually, why is it called the give and go? It's more like a go, give, go. Like, I want this back. So anyway, you know what I mean. He passed it to Bruce Brown in the wing. He cuts, like wanting the ball with his hands out. Would have been an easy pass to make. Would have been the right pass to make. Would have created an advantage. Instead, Bruce Brown, who is not a great decision maker. We've seen a lot of point Bruce Brown over these last few weeks. If there was ever any question about like, hey, is Bruce Brown a good a point guard, a facilitator? Just go back and watch the last few weeks of Toronto Raptors basketball. I don't think that's what he's intended to do, but he's kind of the role that he's been put into. So he gets the ball on the wing, and instead of kicking it back too quickly, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna dribble really slowly and awkwardly, kind of like he's Bruce Brown. I kind of realized this tonight. Bruce Brown really is Dennis Schroeder. It's the same player. It's just like kind of a combo-y guard who doesn't make very good reads that well, doesn't really do one particular thing. Like, is there what's like the go-to thing, the Bruce Brown go-to? What was the Dennis Schroeder go-to? It's more just like, all right, I'm going to not make that read. Now I'm going to cut in on the wing. I'm going to dribble through the paint. And like, okay, what's there? What's over there? What's over there? What's over there? Okay, that's not that good. I'm going to use like 6 seconds on the shot clock. I'm going to come back out above the break with the ball. And now there's like 8 seconds off on the shot clock. May as well get a paint touch, kick it out to somebody with 3, 4, or 5 seconds left on the shot clock. And that is kind of the Bruce Brown offense. It's, wow, has he been, I mean, I've said this many times. He's either having the most fun he's ever had playing basketball or the least fun he's ever had playing basketball, because it's almost weirder than McDaniels, because we saw Bruce Brown. We've all seen Bruce Brown on the TV doing things with other teams. But yeah, I think he's just completely. He's had like 2 good games maybe, and in this one, Reeves had beef today. Nameless, bro. Vancouver is never getting a team again. Get over it. I'm just pointing to the fact that you make a lot of really dumb comments and your profile picture is you without a shirt on. Just, you kind of seem like a weird guy. Vegan Grass, LeBron isn't acting, might be worth a listen in that case. Yeah, it's really good. They kind of, maybe the best parts of the podcast are like the beginning when JJ Redick is like, this is this definition, this is this definition. And they show tape of like what they're talking about. But yeah, it's actually them talking about like basketball concepts, talking about modern players in the NBA, and like people have tried to aggregate it and being like, ooh, this is how LeBron says to guard Luka. Like, ooh, who are they talking? Who are the players? Because like, I think part of the reason why so many player podcasts are so dog shit is because fucking idiots, a lot of them, you know, like people in the chat, like this nameless guy, a lot of people like that, they eat this shit up, and that's why that content gets made. It's because people like it. People want to aggregate it. But if you actually listen to the whole show, it's really informative, and there is kind of nothing like clicky or rage baity about it. It's just them being like, oh yeah, this is this action that this team runs, and this is why it's really hard to guard, and this is why we had to do it like this and whatever. And it's actually just really honest, transparent, and authentic. Matt says unpredictable arm movement while running is Bruce Brown's superpower. See, Nameless, that's how you bring something of value to the chat. You know, be informative, be funny, be interesting. Don't just be a guy with his shirt off being like, Vancouver sucks, you're never getting a team. I'm dog shit, but I'm in the chat. Plus, there's lots of, I guess there's not that many, but there's lots of post-game shows to go listen to. But yeah, unpredictable arm movement. Yeah, he does kind of flap a lot. I don't know if I've ever said that out loud, but yeah, now that you've mentioned it, he does do a lot of kind of odd. He also kind of reminds me of like when Precious would try to create, where it's like, okay, you've gotten past the person on the perimeter. Doesn't really seem to have a problem with that. Like his first step is like decent, his handle's decent, so he can get past people on the perimeter. But then once that happens, he either like drives through the paint, you know, Malachi or Dennis Schroeder style, he'll take like the most random, like, oh, you're just going to take that. Like it's shots that you see in like college basketball where there's like 17 on the shot clock, and it's like, oh, you're okay, you're going to take that one because you could maybe see like a sliver of the rim for like half a second. He has a lot of those. Continues to be like one of the weirder fits on this team. But yeah, unpredictable trash clips. Jar's back in the chat. This is the person that said, I need to find a wife to not smoke weed and to have children or something like that. I guess when you make weird content, you're going to get a lot of like weird people coming at the thing, but trash clips, not a weird person. Weird in a good way. Bruce Brown is a plus-minus of minus 250 for the Raptors in his career. Is that, can you look, trash clips, who I have on staff, is that, can we check if that's a record? That's like the opposite of OG. I think OG is like plus. Let's look at this nameless guy. So this is the guy who's always like trying to make me upset. He comes in the chat like every game. He's got his shirt off. Pretty cool. Profumo del Palazzi, Calabria. Is that in Spain or something? He's got the 100 emoji, so that's pretty cool. You don't see that too often, but I do like the shirt off. Uploads. Oh, so we've got some YouTube content here. We got 110%. That looks cool. Roots. That looks cool. And Dal Sud. That looks really cool. Okay. So you're a fellow content creator, Mr. Nameless. I wasn't aware. I wasn't familiar with your game. But this empty bar, I'm afraid, is far more interesting. Oh, Jar, your next Impossible Burger is on me. $2. Thank you, Jar. I now am forced to like your company and enjoy your company. Maybe I can put that towards getting a date as well. I'll split it up. I'll put $1 towards. I like the Beyond Burgers a little bit more, and then I have like vegan cheese that I melt onto it. Probably making some people vomit with that, and then I'll put $1 towards like a date. Maybe I'll go to this bar. That'd be pretty meta if I like went to this bar and was on the recording. Actually, I am in the bar. What am I talking about? Later on, I will go and I will chat with a lot of questions for this gentleman here in the gray baseball cap. He's kind of set up here. Looks like he's got a bit of a view of the dance floor. He's potentially enjoying himself. So we've got kind of there is a bit of an interesting crowd bring here. We've kind of got the older gentleman with baseball hat crowd. We've got the younger female crowd with kind of the fun pants. So you got baseball hats, fun pants, acoustic guitar guy, smoking area. Not too much happening over there. What do we got? What are we doing over here? Okay, now let's go for a walk a little bit. The bar's a little bit quiet. We'll wait for the music to build up a bit. Bruce Brown is a D-League player. I think he's just checked out. I think he's just kind of tapped out. He could have just stayed with the Nuggets, who are probably going to win another championship. That's like the comedy in it, I guess, is he's clearly not playing up to his potential. He's clearly in a bit of a mood per se. He wants to be playing playoff basketball, and it really does feel like he isn't super connected to where he's at right now. But I mean, you took the money, to go somewhere else. Sure, Indiana will make it, but like, is that a team that you would have bet for like an actual serious playoff run? I mean, maybe he was really into the Jarris Walker, Nemhard talent pool or something. They didn't have Pascal at the time, so I don't really understand like what he's thinking. Like, it would have been different if Denver traded him, like if he would have been on Denver and then they trade him to the Raptors, and it's like, whoa, okay, wow, yeah. But like, he took a different contract than the one you could have had with Denver. He did the Jeremy Grant thing, and now you're doing this shit, just putting up like 5 points a game, getting starter minutes. I mean, whatever. Trash clips. Best I could find is that Doug Christie has the lowest plus minus for a Raptor in a season at minus 485 in 97. Good pull. Wasn't he a good defender too? Doug Christie, damn. He was on those legendary Kings teams. Speaking of Lakers, the infamous Kings Lakers series. I believe he was a part of that, 2002. Minus 485. I mean, here's another one. If Bruce Brown would have played like a whole, like, if you do the per 36, like if he would have played a full season, he definitely would have cleared minus 485 if he's already at like 250. The only Raptor with a lower plus minus than Bruce is Grady with minus 321, but we don't have to talk about that. That's okay. Grady, you get like a 3-year buffer. If you're minus 321 in year 3, we'll have a conversation. But yeah, obviously, much different game with Quickley and Barrett. They combined for 48 points. I believe 30 of those were in the first half. Obviously, they're not going to play during garbage time minutes when, I mean, maybe it could have. I was kind of thinking that because they're on a conditioning program. I was like, hey, you know what a really good conditioning program would be? Would just like come out and play against Castleton, who they got there, Colin Castleton of the Los Angeles Lakers. Come out and do some guard Colin Castleton, and that could be good for your cardio. But they're on a cardio program, so they only played 26, 27 minutes tonight. But yeah, you just see a completely different team. And then when they go off halfway through the first quarter, Raptors score 4 points in 6 minutes. Whole thing goes off the rails, and they just can't really come back from that, which you didn't expect them to. You know, shouts to Kobe Simmons, +1 in garbage time. But shouts to McDaniels, +12. That's why you can't just look at a single game plus minus and make a ton of conclusions from that. Obviously comes in garbage time. But yeah, shouts to McDaniels. Still getting minutes here and there. Gets you 7 minutes tonight. Gets you an assist in garbage time. 2 points. Yeah, nobody on the Raptors bench scored more than 6 points. And don't look at this box score. It's pretty bad. Lakers 38 assists. They were humming tonight. LeBron 9 assists, 23 points. He really did not have, he was 10 for 12 from the field. I don't know if any of those were extremely difficult shots to make. I definitely think that I was kind of surprised he played 29 minutes. At this point of the season, I guess you really don't want to lose this for the play-in race, but 29 minutes for him is probably on the higher end, and I don't think you needed 29 minutes from LeBron and 28 from Davis. You probably could have had a what's the drink? A prime. What is it called? Primed. What the fuck is that thing? A prime. Is it just vitamin water? You would think 50 Cent inventing vitamin water would have only happened once, but no, it just keeps. It's like a never-ending, just sea of fucking. Because didn't D'Lo have a drink that was going viral last year when he kept bringing up to the podium? I think I would have preferred. Some D'Lo drinks. Is he still moving that thing? The drinks? Somebody trash clips. How many drinks has D'Angelo Russell moved? But yeah, I don't know what's going on with the bar. Yeah, any final thoughts? Only a couple more games left in the season. Then nobody has to watch this anymore, which is a big plus for everybody. Oh wow, Thunder and Sixers playing right now. 1 point game with 24 seconds left. What are you doing watching this? Go watch something else. Joel Embiid, 22 points tonight. Wow, that could be a good one, you know. Matt says, did you catch the confident shoulder shrugging after outplaying JFL? LeBron is proud to dunk on G League guys. Could be a Raptor Moments video. LeBron James destroys. I definitely thought of there's definitely a joke. I haven't put the pieces together, but there's a Freeman Liberty, because a lot of the people that are LeBron haters always bring up La China and stuff. It's always a human rights. That's always their main argument or whatever. LeBron isn't physically going into the Uyghur camps and breaking them out of China. And I care so much about those people, and all my energy is going towards that. Let me quickly just go pop off this Nick Fuentes video. But there probably is some joke about Freeman Liberty, LeBron destroys freedom or something. I don't know. There's some Laura Ingraham joke in there somewhere I could probably pull out if I get a little bit more stoned or something. I didn't realize you could super chats. I thought I liked thought I liked the super chat. Trash clips. Jalen McDaniels had a team high plus 12 tonight. Yep, that's that sounds about right. I like how these old guys are just watching these. This is like my gym. This is like getting exact. They're like reenacting the old guys at my gym who. Yeah, this is. I guess it's probably a pretty common dynamic. I guess you got the polo shirts, the hats. This guy's yelling something, I guess. I like this guy standing next to the musician. This guy here, is he giving like a song request? Don't ever give a song request to, like, I once brought my turntables, my records, like 6 crates of records. And I was really going off, like really playing stuff that people were dancing to. It was not really it was a friend's party, and it was a lot of like real estate developer people. It was a guy I knew from 12 Step back in the day. It was like a lot of rich people that I would never hang out with, but I brought my records, and it was good. It was really good vibes. Had the turntables, whole kind of setup. And the guy throwing the party, he wanted to play like some of his music, like one of his songs or something. And at first I was like, whatever. And then he just kind of kept pressing, and a couple of his friends kept asking, and I was like, okay, it's a different tempo. It's a different, I'm not good enough that I can like beat match vinyl, but I can fade. I can fade pretty well. And he put on a couple tracks. His friends were dancing, and everybody else like stopped dancing. And then they had to like resurrect me from the couch to go back again. I was like, no man, like this is great. Barbra Streisand probably was like a Barbra Streisand type of song. And it's like, yeah, I've got like Mobb Deep, Led Zeppelin, like Mobb Deep, Dazed and Confused mashup that's actually crazy that you can only get on vinyl that I'm playing here. But yeah, throw in your like Barbra Streisand song or whatever. That's my riveting story. D'Lo Trash Clip says D'Lo's drink is called Coco 5, but I've never seen it before. Yeah, he was smart because he would bring it up with him during the press conferences, like during the Lakers run last year. Like he would bring like the drink up with him and like put it on the podium, and then he got in trouble for it, but like somebody came up and like yanked it, and that became like a moment. And then there was another instance where like he was getting like ushered out of the press conference, I think after being in trouble for it, and just like held it up behind his head for the cameras. I'm like, wow, that's really smart. I mean, there's probably a fine for that, but I'm sure Adam Silver doesn't. I mean, Adam Silver, the gambling connoisseur ushering in, I'm sure he was like, hell yeah, that's some smart guerrilla marketing. You can come work for our marketing department when you retire, which is where Adam Silver used to work, I believe, in the marketing department for the NBA. Now he's a big FanDuel guy. Some good FanDuel ads running tonight. I gotta find out what plus 100 means. I've turned down 3 gambling companies for partnerships, and it's just because I don't know what plus 100 means. Okay, my man's got some roses here. It's a great curveball. What's the game plan here? So this is kind of this. So these guys all like, is he gonna dish out the roses to these guys and they're gonna use it as like conversation starters, or is this just some guy who came in? I think it's some guy who came in. I think this is like speaking of guerrilla marketing, I think we have a rogue door-to-door flower salesman who, okay, now he's supposed they're using him for a photo op. That's not very nice, but I do kind of respect that. He's got $1. He's got money in his hand. Did he take the money out and then not? Now this guy's like shaking his head. Now this guy's like, what the fuck's going on? Is he gonna order a pizza? Because we know we have. So what's his move here with these flowers? Are these roses? Does somebody know if these are roses? Somebody in the chat said it was roses. Because you do see the kind of DIY. This is fascinating. I'm actually writing a movie right now, and I don't know if you call him a protagonist, but this is our main character. He sells, the mangoes that are all like cut up into special shapes on the beach in Mexico. Like he makes those, but then he also makes he goes to scrap yards and makes drug smuggling gear. He's in Tijuana, and he makes he takes old like a Ford or an Audi or whatever, and he has all the different makes, and he makes like panels and shit to smuggle drugs easier into the US. And then he meets a guy whose family is really rich, and they bring him in to the family because they think he's really like industrious. And then he kind of does like a Parasite arc, just fucks their life up. It's my movie I do. But yeah, I don't know what our Rose friend is doing. Is she gonna? You can always tell when people are dancing to music that they're not really that into, and I think she's kind of. I also kind of hate being white because this is the stereotype, and it is pretty accurate. Like if you go to a marathon or like a run, you'll see a lot of these people that are just like, there's music playing and they're like cheering on the runners and like waving their hands in the air and jumping up and down. And it's like, judgmental people will associate us together. But I want to see where this flower guy's going here. Are they leaving? Okay, he's leaving with the flower guy. I don't know. Don't have access. They went to the forbidden zone off camera. I don't know what goes on in those back rooms. Maybe they'll come back out with like white on their nose. Okay, so what's her deal? Do you think there's music playing, or is this acoustic guitar? Because he's giving her nothing. Like this guy, I mean, obviously they're together, but like he's leaning away from her. He's giving her nothing. Like not even in. This looks like a weird interaction. They have to know each other. You would you would think that they know each other. But yeah, we got some potential here now. We got this I like this guy who just came up to the bar. Kind of has that like, he looks like an instructor I had. Whose name was Mac, and the course that he taught was about Mac computers. His name was MAK, but the Mac is obviously MAC. But the course was called Introduction to Mac, and we would kind of joke like, are we learning about computers or this fucking guy? Okay, fun pants. Few different like fun like backpacker pants people. Definitely got the sitting at the bar crowd on the phone. Yeah, it's pretty. Not a lot of juice happening here tonight. I guess it is kind of early on a Tuesday or something. What day is it? Tuesday, I guess. I don't even know if I want to go for a walk. Do you want to go for a walk? The dog just looked up. Do you want to go for a walk? That's mean. I shouldn't do that. Sorry. I did not mean that. I was lying. There we go. I don't really want to go. I don't know. Do you guys need to go for a walk? Do you guys need to go for a walk? Go pee really quickly or something? Go smell around. You guys need to go for a walk. Vegan grass. Prime is the official drink of FC Barcelona and Arsenal too. Maybe that's why Arsenal didn't score a fucking goal in that game. Isn't Barcelona like the people's? Isn't that like about the people or something? Wouldn't that be more of a Real Madrid sponsor as I try to talk about European football? Trash Clip says if a team is plus 100, that means if you bet 100 and they win, you will get your initial wager back plus an additional 100. I always thought that meant if you bet 100, you get $1. Like you put up $100, and then if your team wins, you win $1 back. So I always thought a plus 100 meant like you have to put up 100 to get $1. But that version of plus 100 seems more like amicable. Is that the right word? Amicable. Somebody dance. Somebody gonna dance? I'm not gonna dance. Okay, she might dance. This doesn't seem like the right music choice. I need to I need to make some phone calls. Maybe that's what these guys are doing on their phone. They're like texting the manager like, what the fuck is this acoustic guitar? I came here to meet ladies with fun pants, not watch a guy in a cowboy hat sing like Tuesday's Gone. Yeah, it's washed, man. This club's washed. It's fucking everything is washed. It's time to go for a walk. Yeah, even she's fucking asleep. 46 minutes. Didn't hit the hour. But, I mean, what are you going to do, right? What the hell are you going to do? Did the Sixers win, by the way? Let's check that. The Sixers did win. Joel Embiid back, 24 points. The Sixers win. I believe the Trailblazers, so Tank Watch. Grizzlies won last night, but don't play today. Trailblazers play the Hornets tomorrow. All right, Aiden. All right, Dominating. All right, Scoot. You guys better put something together for me. You can beat the Hornets. Delano Banton can get 30. Beat the Hornets. And also tomorrow, good thing I checked because I probably would have forgotten, Toronto Raptors play the Minnesota Timberwolves, who they beat first game of the year, which seems like forever ago, but also kind of like yesterday. I don't really know. One of the two. But, yeah, they play the Minnesota Timberwolves. So there's definitely a reality where the Trailblazers beat the Hornets and the Raptors make it 15 straight and extend the DJ Carton injury winless streak. So that's it. Only like 7-8 more games left. Take a long ass break from doing this shit. You know the open gym videos only have like 5,000 views. Like people have really checked out. She has not checked out though. She is continuing to be the only energy bringer, but time to go hit some Lord of the Rings audiobook. They spent a long time in Rivendell in the book. Like a lot longer than the movies. Like in the movies, they show up to Rivendell and it's just like, I mean, in the extended, they have the Sword of Elendil, but it's just like, hey, here's a cool little gathering and like, I will take the ring. And then it's like, okay, you're going to be the guy to do that. And then they leave. They also get attacked right before Rivendell by the Black Riders, which seems a bit racist, but I mean, there's a lot of like, everything that's like black in that movie is bad. Everything that's white is good. It's a little on the nose. He could have hidden that a little bit better, I think. But yeah, they got attacked multiple times by the Black Riders, and it happened right before Rivendell, which doesn't happen in the book. And then the flood isn't because of Arwen; it's because not Gryffindor, Glorfindel, I think. Fingolfin. Is that Fingolfin's whatever? Do you know Will mixed up Minas Morgul and Barad-dûr on the last Banter pod? So aggregators go after him for that. He said that Minas Morgul has the I, when that's actually Barad-dûr that has the I. And, Minas Morgul has a long history, a long celebrated history. It used to be a city of good. It used to be called Minas Ithil, I think. And was like homies with Minas Tirith. And then Osgiliath was like hanging out in the middle. And then they abandoned Osgiliath when the two went to war. But they stayed in Rivendell for a long ass time. Gloin had some stories that Frodo was really into. And it is, obviously the books are going to breathe, but yeah, the books seem to like breathe a little bit more. You can get kind of sucked into it. But yeah, they spent a long ass time in Rivendell. Matt, build your fantasy Lord of the Rings team. Vegan Grass, Raptors tonight has some good banter in the past club episodes. So Randy Urban is on there, or who's bantering? That's good. But build your fantasy ball Lord of the Rings team. Probably start the Balrog at point. I like the size, great energy. I feel like he'd be pretty intimidating. Bring the ball up the floor. I can't remember his name, but he's the one in Moria. So yeah, point Balrog. That'd be sick. I don't know if you could have Gandalf and him on the same team. They would have to hash that out. Gandalf's a bit... maybe. Might have Gandalf. Treebeard, who is basically just like Jakob Hurtle. So I'd have Treebeard at the 5, the Balrog at the 1. Be some good pick and rolls. Imagine trying to stop that pick and roll. A Treebeard Balrog pick and roll would be, and you could do inverted pick and rolls with those two. That's a lot of size to handle. I don't think Treebeard has a good outside shot though, so you're not going to pop very much. So you need a guy that can pop as well. Like you need a 4 that can pop if you're going to run that. So a 4 that can pop. Who's a 4 that can pop? That's tough. Okay, we have Legolas. I think Legolas is like a good shooting guard because Legolas has good distance, good range with the bow and arrow. You see a lot of NBA players, not a lot, but you see like who does it? Like Drew Holiday, that's like his main one where they like, because it is like a shot in basketball is kind of like a bow and arrow in a sense where like you're holding a lot of tension in this thing and then releasing it. So I think Legolas would be a great shooting. So you got the Balrog and Legolas as your backcourt. I think that's pretty solid. The 3 and you got Treebeard at the 5. Your 3 and your 4. That's tough. Need some role. Are we doing role players as well? Randy, Jack, and Alvin. The PG pick is legend. Legolas at the 4. But I don't think Legolas has much size. I kind of like Legolas as a shooting guard. I think... Someone's saying he's tall. Gimli throwing axes. Yeah, but Gimli's got so much... Gimli on defense... Like, what do you think Gimli's lateral hip movements are like? Although, during Helm's Deep on the bridge there, he did take out like 50 guys. Gimli could be like a Fred Van Vliet, like kind of strip you off the weak side. Gimli could be interesting as like Gimli's the backup point guard. So you got the Balrog coming in. So that's a huge, like if you're the other coach, you really got to adjust for that. And then Gimli and Legolas have good chemistry too if they were going to, run something together. So you would really like the game, like the difference in games and just like structure going from the Balrog to Gimli would be pretty jarring in and of itself. So I kind of like that. The 3 and the 4 what about that huge fucking Uruguay guy? The main guy who kind of leads, because he's pretty big. Doesn't he shoot? Oh, you know who I need. You know who I need. I don't even know what his name was. I don't even know if he's like a guy, but I need him. He's the guy who in Helm's Deep like ran with the explosives and like threw it, and then the wall exploded. That I need that. That's my 3. That's my 3. I don't know what it is. I don't know. It was one of the orcs, but that's my 3. So you got the Balrog at 1, Legolas at 2, the orc at 3, Treebeard at 5. You just need a 4 that can pop. You kind of need like an Anthony Davis 4. Who is Anthony Davis in Lord of the Rings? Reverse engineer it. Who is the Anthony Davis of Lord of the Rings? Like it's escaping me. Galadriel maybe? Because I do really like what she brought to the forest scene. You could see that she's got a lot of. Did she get really big in that one too? She could be Galadriel could be the 4. Let's see. Shelob. Ooh, Shelob would be good. You know that Shelob. I sent this to Will and he didn't reply because it's kind of not that important. But yeah, Shelob's mom actually brought Sauron to Middle Earth originally, like way back in the day. She put him in his pouch and they like flew somehow to Middle Earth. And then she fucked around with like a tree and a Silmaril, got too powerful and too big. And then Sauron was actually like afraid of her for a minute. But so yeah, Shelob comes from like pretty crazy lineage. Does this guy have a Lakers hat on? Does he have a Yankees shirt and a Lakers hat on? I think he might, but definitely don't want Denethor anywhere. I don't want Denethor anywhere near my team. I don't want Radagast anywhere near my team. Elrond as well, kind of a, I don't know, bit of a weird guy. But yeah, I think that's going to be the team. I think it's going to be Balrog, Legolas, the random guy at Helm's Deep who throws the bomb, Galadriel, and Treebeard. Like, who's beating that team? Like, who are you going to throw out to beat that? Like Grima Wormtongue, is he going to do stuff? Is it like Mary, like Mary, Pippin, Sam. Like, I know they've got Frodo, like Bilbo. It's more of a height thing. I know I got Gimli coming off the bench, but like, who are you really gonna throw at me? Like Faramir? I guess Faramir would be a decent pick. Yeah, I like Faramir off the bench. Faramir's got a good like Thad Young kind of vibe to him, and like a Garrett Temple. Maybe the Gaffer as the assistant coach. Saruman's got some nice. I could see Saruman kind of being like a Chris Boucher, Mogay type. He's kind of got that lanky size. Probably hustles quite a bit. Not very good basketball IQ, but yeah, I could see Saruman kind of being like a Boucher. Theoden. Yeah, like, I'm sorry, but you're not beating my team. Like, I don't care. Trash Clip says Galadriel is 6'4". Beautiful. There we go. Can you imagine that team? What sets? So what would I think you build the offense around the Balrog? What's his name, by the way? Moria. Balrog. Moria is like his nickname. Durin's Bane? No. That can't be his name. Durin's Bane is the Balrog. Also known as the Nameless Terror. Oh, that's perfect with the Nameless guy from earlier. The Nameless Terror is a lot better than his name's Durin's Bane. I mean, Tolkien really did mail it in with some of the accessory character names. Like there's Gloin, Groin. There's one of Gimli's ancestors is Balin and Dwalin. Like he I think you get to a certain point where you've made up like 9,000 words that you just kind of go fuck it. And I think Durin's Bane is Durin's Bane. I can't. How is that? That just takes so much aura away from that Balrog, man. Because he fucking shows up in that movie. That's one of the better. That's like one of the best like CGI or effect in Lord of the Rings is the Balrog. The only scene from Lord of the Rings that really pisses me off is It's in Return of the King. It's when they're on their way, like they go in the mountain, they go in like the crevice of the mountain, and then before they go into like the actual cave, it's Legolas, Aragorn, and Gimli. There's these, I don't even know how to describe it, but like sweeping overhead shots of them, and it just looks like a really bad music video from like 2004. It's the only scene where I really think they fucked it up. But yeah, they spent way too long in Rivendell, I think. That's my note. But yeah, that lineup, man. Balrog, Legolas, guy from Helm's Deep, Galadriel, Treebeard. Try stopping that. Not even Victor Wembanyama could stop that. So yeah, that's it. Time to go for a walk, I guess.